We have a very special Starseed mission support incoming. We are going to be talking about the death of the Queen, lowercase q, or in the words of my husband, Queen with a K and a W. The Queen is dead. I mean, no disrespect. I mean, I know that a lot of people love the Queen here on this planet. I feel like it's really because there is deep love in our heart for the true Queen in the heart of humanity. And so that love had to be replaced by some placeholder. And so this is what we're going to be going into today. I received this information directly. As many of you know, I've been telling you guys about this Gridwork ceremony event. It was for women. It was Healing the Womb 3. This event occurred last weekend. It started on the 9/9 portal. I've been telling you guys about this for a month. The intel that I've been receiving in regards to the grids all have led up to this moment. And so when I say I have insider information, I'm not getting this from military or the royal family. I don't actually think that they're the real insider anyway. The insider information that we share on this channel is always direct communication that we have with the earth itself. And so in this conversation, we're going to dive deep into the planetary grid, why these gridwork experiences and why gridwork itself is probably one of the most important things we can be doing right now. I'm going to explain exactly what gridwork is and why all of this have so much to do with the Queen dying. So leading up to this event, I've been wanting to make this video for a week now, but I was really busy last weekend with this event, and so we had to wait till this weekend so that we can talk about this. And so obviously it's been going around. Everybody is talking about this. Some people say the Queen has been dead for a long time and they just chose to share this news now. And to be honest, it doesn't matter. I work in the fields of the collective consciousness and the Leyline system that is in connection and which informs and gives energy, gives quality, gives information to the collective consciousness. And the reason why I work in the collective consciousness field is because, of my many multidimensional star-seeded gifts and selves, I am a light field geneticist. And, in the higher dimensions, genetics is the study of light fields, is the study of how consciousness comes into matter, is the study of how universal consciousness and universal energy can exist in denser dimensions where there are more complexities and qualities. And so every single quality you can think of, from shapes to personalities to energies to colors to the representations and the part that things take in nature. All of these things are woven into light field genetics. This is the study of how living creation exists. And so obviously this is the study of how structure and consciousness gives rise to this entire physical experience that we're having. And the reason why all of this is important is because the elites of this planet have long stolen all of this knowledge about the grid systems of the earth. And our knowledge of the grid systems has always been foundational to all ancient cultures, from the Native Americans of North and South America to the Aborigines of Native Australia, to the ancients of Mongolia and Inner Asia, to the Cathars and the Christians, the early Gnostic Christians, the true Christians who followed the original teachings of Christ, and the embodiments of Christic qualities and virtues and that whole path of the avatar embodiment. All of these cultures knew all about the grid and leyline systems, and in fact they created many ceremonies, created many sacred sites based on the intersections of these grid lines. And so for a really long time, the Cabal, as well as the Nazis, as well as the Roman Catholic Church, that has been eradicating spiritual people all over the planet for hundreds and hundreds of years, they have been on the hunt for this secret knowledge that seemed to give a lot of power and a lot of earth and connection to source energy. So it's all about our connection to source energy, because Our connection to source energy gives us the power to create and give us the power of seemingly control over this domain that we see as the physical reality. And when I say seemingly control, I mean to have the capacity to assert our will upon it, to make a difference, to change the 3D reality in some way which benefits us, okay? And so this is a differentiation between creation magic and evil magic, which a lot of people call black magic, which we don't like to call it that because it's not really about the color spectrum. It's not about the presence or the vacancy of light. It's more about the quality of the magic itself. And so magic is essentially our interaction with the invisible. When we seem to have a relationship with the invisible and we seem to be able to bend the invisible to our will, this is sort of what we see as magical, okay? And so there's creation magic, meaning humans are originally templated to interact with the invisible. We were always meant to perceive the other realms. We were meant to co-create with the other realms. We were meant to experience our internal consciousness interact with the external consciousness. We were designed to experience this in our DNA. And this is why in the beginning of our awakening, we will see magic numbers, repeating numbers, synchronicities, like we think of someone or we think of something and it magically appears in our external reality. And it seems almost as if there is a relationship between our internal consciousness and the external reality that is all around us. And the truth is, there is an intersection, there is a relationship, and we were always meant to exist in divine communion with the fabric of all that is. We were always meant to experience the universe dancing directly with us in this living experience that we have as a human being. And so creation magic is essentially the understanding and the study of creation. It is coming from this vantage point where we have this deep desire to know ourselves. We want to know who we are. We want to know what the universe is, and we want to know creation. We want to know the source of our creation, or for many, that's the term God. For many, that's the great creator, the great spirit, divine mother, father, God. Whatever that term is, that is the consciousness of all things. We want to know that thing, and we have this desire to know that thing within ourselves. And so that is the intrinsic drive that has guided the explorations of seekers for ages immemorial. And this is also the basic drive that drives every spiritual seeker, right? For so long, through many, many lifetimes, we have had this spark inside of us that makes us just want to be close to creation. And we feel that this is actually a quality of love. When we have that spark of divine love inside of our heart, we have this natural curiosity to be close to creation, to understand our place, our role, and why we were created, to know our creational destiny, and to align with the reason why we were born, okay? These are the basic, intrinsic, underlying motivations of the true heart. And so for a long time, we have followed this inkling, and for a long time, we have discovered that there is an intrinsic connection between our human consciousness and the universal consciousness. And through the navigation of many wise people, for many spiritual seekers just like you, for eons and eons, we have kind of define this path of the avatar embodiment or source incarnating into physicality. And so as we have discovered this for a long time, we realized that the structure and the consciousness of the earth was actually designed to interact with human consciousness. And this is something that these ancients all discovered. They realized that in certain specific places on the earth, they had more connection to that power, okay? And these people, because they're coming from this vantage point of love, of connection, of wanting to know our destiny and our correct role on the earth, that is to say, we are guardians. We are ones that are coming to understand, to learn, to evolve as souls. And so we realize when we attune to these ley lines, and many Native American nomadic tribes will journey along these lines. Many will have ceremonies where they sing and drum, and they have migrations, and they have as well pilgrimages along these lines to these sacred sites, because they knew that in these places they had access to higher creational power, and they had access to the wisdom and the knowledge and the libraries of the earth. So this is what we categorize as creation magic. It's people coming from the right motivation of aligning to their highest self and operating in harmony and in co-creation with all of the universe to give of our unique gifts. Ultimately is this ideal or this ideology of giving to creation that drives our desire for knowing. We want to know ourselves. We want to understand the universe because we want to know how we can give to this world and create more beauty and create more harmony and allow Source to even fulfill its destiny through us. Okay? These are the right motivations that we have when we are living our life in alignment with these original Christic virtues. Now, then we realize that essentially evil magic is the accessing of magic or creational magic for self-serving agendas. This is when people decide that they're gonna, and it's likely they're seeing the Templars and the ancient original temples and the Native Americans, they seem to have access to a special power that these people may not understand. And yet, because they see the impact of this power, they see the selfish benefits of the power, they see that if they could wield this power, then they can bend reality to their will. This was the beginning of evil magic. Basically, these people started to torment, hijack, kidnap, whatever way they could usurp these magical rights, locations, places, ceremonies. They have gone all over the planet to essentially steal these magical rights from people, going as far as exterminating those of us that hold the original magic keys. This is the elimination of the Native American people and the castration of Native Americans from their original knowing. This is the genocides of the minorities and the tribal peoples of Asia. And this is the extermination of the Cathars back in the 1200s, and the various genocides that's happened all over the planet is this agenda to basically destroy, kill, and exterminate all people that hold original knowledge inside of their tribal cultures. Okay? And this is something that many of us feel very intensely about. And I want to just take this moment and tune into our bodies, settle into our nervous system, know that you are safe, know that you are held here, know that we're moving towards very beautiful parts of our discussion today. This is just where we have come from, okay? And this is why we're happy that the Queen is dead, because she is really kind of the representation, the archetype, the capstone of this, okay, of this stealing of the highest sacred things. Stealing of the highest sacred relics, objects, locations, sacred sites, sacred rites, books of knowledge, even genetic material. Okay? This is the beginning of the evil magic that has taken over the planet and is, if you've seen the movie or the show His Dark Materials, it's kind of like the magisterium that is creating a control system around the magic and containing it for itself and forcing everyone else to basically exist inside of this fallen reality that we call the false matrix, in which people are completely and utterly severed from their true sense of inner power, sovereignty, and our original birthright, that is access to the Earth's grids. And the access to the Earth grids is essentially our connection into the supreme deity, our collective monad. We hear about this term monad, right? Where it's like many souls sharing one oversoul. Well, when you really think about it, we are in a fractal universal reality, right? So everything as above, so below, as within, so without. We have this fractal universality where where consciousness really fractals through these emanations, meaning there's cosmic consciousness, and then there's galactic consciousness, and then solar systems, and then planetary, and then individual, and then even on our bodies we have, tiny critters and things that are living on top of us that carry kind of a spiral of this consciousness. And so our immediate higher self would be our soul star chakra, but then our immediate planetary higher self is really this source of life. Our immediate planetary collective source of life is the one and only true queen of our reality. The one and only true monarch that can ever be on this planet is the earth. And the earth is a sentient being. The earth has a soul, and the being has a very complex consciousness. And this is the knowledge that the Native Americans and the Cathars and all of these mystical people knew, because on these Leyline access points, we were able to basically merge our consciousness with the Leylines and sink into the collective consciousness of the earth. And she is actually, an epic library, a living library of knowledge, of genetic information, of light and stellar star maps of the universal totality. The earth is home to many stargates, which allow consciousness and allow souls to travel to very many different, highly beloved and desired places. Okay, this is why the earth is under so many cosmic wars, and every evil, negative alien race wants a part of the earth, wants to be on the earth, wants earth DNA, wants to own the earth because they want access to what the earth is, which is this magnificent living library of cosmic creation with access through these Stargate systems to very many highly coveted, desired places and dimensions. And the Leyline system is the key to it all, and especially the intersections of the Leyline system. These are very powerful places. So in these places, you will find mounds, pyramids, communities. You will find, some people say ruins. We're starting to change ruins to sacred sites. You will find shrines that have been built through stones in the past. These are places that people have pilgrimaged to for a really, really long time to meditate, to hold cosmic ceremony, because in these places, we have access to the divine deity consciousness of the earth, okay, which is really the spiral higher self of us all. It is the source of all of us that is on the planet right now, okay? And I believe that each human being, each animal, everything that is alive has this love for Mother Earth, obviously, because she's our mom and she gives birth to all of us and she provides everything that we need for life that we have. So the beauty, the abundance, the joy, the fun, the games, the experiences, the adventures, the synchronicities, every single thing that we experience, that we enjoy here on the planet, it is hosted or sponsored or given birth by the earth. Okay? And so this is why she is the one true monarch or holy queen of us all. And she's really holding the true queen template. So the true queen energy, and the reason why we all love the true queen, also known as the earth, is because she just selflessly and infinitely, unconditionally gives life to us. Because she is hosting that experience, because that is also what brings her the highest joy. When you merge consciousness with her, and I'm going to go talk about that practice in just a little bit, you will begin to see the dreams and the song lines that she carries. These dreams, these storylines, these mystical adventures that she's gestating in her being. She is an ancient storyteller. She is, the greatest filmmaker, producer, dreamer of a universal whole, and this is why she is so special. Even in the universe, there's so many planets, billions and trillions of stars and planets, and even in the whole universal totality, the Earth is very special. Okay? She's very highly intelligent, highly coded. She's a highly coded starseed, let's say, an angelic being. Okay? And so every single being on the planet has this immense love for our true queen, because she's representing of the true queen codes, okay? And the original queen codes, the true monarch, the true royal, it is this energy of altruism, this energy of selfless giving, not martyrdom, because martyrdom is coming from the limited self that exists in lack, and martyrdom often is coming from this egoic place that is still wanting to be acknowledged, still wanting reciprocity in that way of being celebrated as a hero, right? You're still wanting that reciprocity. The selfless giving that I'm talking about here comes from an infinitude from within. When we feel this infinite energy, we know our source. We have this source of infinite creation energy inside of us. We're able to give from that place where it's truly unconditional. It's truly out of this immaculate joy and of our highest destiny that we are giving. Okay? And in that place is truly this place of nurturance, of wanting all of the parts of the earth to be in the highest levels of joy, to give birth to the most exquisite of experiences. And when we think about nature, I know that there are these reversals that we're just about to come into talking about, but on the earth, there's all of these reversals that say, well, life is miserable, life is hard, you have to waste your time at these jobs you hate, and you have to be bored and to eat these horrifically toxic foods and be sick and get sick and have cancer and all of these things. Life is not kind. Right? So we would think that nature is not kind because it's created these kinds of experiences. And this is the trick. This is where the queen comes in. Okay? Because truly in our original template, in the original genetic templating of our body and of this planet, there's actually no disease. And I know that this is true because we know that the healthy state is actually what is the normal state. Our normal state of being is when our DNA is expressing in its normal capacity, in its optimal state, in its originally intended state. And so we know that if we're meant to be healthy and the body is always working hard to stay healthy, that this is our design, template, and state of being. And so this is how we can know that there is a benevolent creation, a benevolent template to creation, because this is how we were designed. Now, then where does disease come from? Disease comes from being severed from that original source, from the earth, from our true mother, from the true monarch, from the true source of life on this planet. Because when we are separated from the source, we begin to experience all the things that we associate with actually the false matrix, which is to say poverty, lack, the lack of love, fighting for our worthiness, fighting for our worthiness to be alive, our sustenance. Okay, these artificial ways that our ego is built on. So the artificial things that give us confidence, like the way we look or the way that we carry ourselves or the things that we have, the financial things that we have, all of these artificial signatures of identity. Okay? These are the things that can only exist when we have severed from our true source and thus have lost touch with our true identity. The true foundational identity of all of us is that we are a divine creator human being that lives upon a heavenly planet that was highly coded and intended to house highly coded creator beings. And creator beings are basically beings that are coded and designed to remember and access and know ourself as an emanation of creation itself, of God itself, being a fractal or a point, an expression, a pinnacle of source consciousness. Okay, so this is our founding identity. This is where all of the rest of our personality traits should be spiraling from. If our human ego were to develop appropriately with the right environment, with the right role models, with the right education system, with the right societal norms, we would all have this founding identity that we are divine sovereign human beings living on this beautiful, magnificent heaven planet. Okay? And so the fact that most of us did not grow up in that environment is a signifier that there is a false matrix. Okay? False matrix. The word matrix, you probably have heard me say this before. The word matrix comes from the word matris, which comes from the word mother, essentially, mater. Okay? So when we think about the matrix, we often say we want to get out of the matrix, but the truth is when there's physicality, there is a matrix, there is a structure. This is the structure that all living things follows to grow into the immaculate, beautiful thing that it grows into. This is cosmic law. This is what light geometry and divine light genome is all about. It's the architecture of original divine consciousness that is created in source perfection. Okay? That is why everything is beautiful, and trees are beautiful, anteaters are beautiful, rivers are beautiful. This whole planet is beautiful because everything has a order to it. This is how life is coming into creation. That's why we don't have fingers growing out of our forehead and toes growing out of our butt. Everything is exactly as it should be because it's designed for a purpose. So this is the purpose of the original matrix, growing from this original template of the high, holy, true monarch where it's benevolent. There is cosmic law in the benevolence that everything must be in co-creation, in harmony for the highest joyful and abundant and beautiful experience of all of creation. This is a very benevolent creational template, creational law. Okay? That is the original template of the true queen energy, the true matrix. So the one and only true matrix, the true source of our creation here on earth is Mother Earth. Okay? And so for many people, a lot of people, I think the queen actually is the official queen to 15 or 14 countries or something like that. I live in Canada. Her face is on all the money here. So she was definitely our quote unquote queen of our society. And so let's think about this, okay? She is in the representation of a queen, but her actions has actually been in the inversion of this queen. She has been as a representation of this empire stealing, pillaging, taking, killing, just going in and stealing things. I'm pretty sure there's this stuff going around of all the things that she's stolen, and now that she's dead, all of these nations are asking for their, gold and their jewels and their ancient relics, okay? Ancient stones, ancient powerful crowns and skulls. Many people say that, the British royalty has the ancient pharaoh crowns and things like this, these immense objects of divine power that they have stolen when they went in to conquer different lands over the past however many years this empire has been going on. So Queen Elizabeth is a representation. I'm not saying she personally went out and did all this, but she is really the figurehead, the capstone. When we think of the British Empire, we think the Queen because she is the symbol of this royalty, okay? And so she has held this matrix, this false matrix in place for 70 years. 70 years is about the time of the let's say, the median of life expectancies, right, around the world. So I'm pretty sure in the US now that's 90 or 79 years. The life expectancy of people is 79 years, but in other countries it's less. And so essentially 70 years, we can say it's about the life expectancy of humans. I believe humans can live much longer, but for the past 70 years, this is about the time. So what this means is that for this generation, and I'm not talking about the 10-year generations, I'm talking about a lifetime generation, okay? 70 years. Every single person on this planet that is an adult at this time, that has conscious awareness of the reality, that is tapped into this planetary consciousness, meaning it's a country that is more developed, that has access to internet, that has access to planetary politics and geology and geography and all that stuff. All conscious human beings that align or can be placed in that category kind of know that she's the queen, right? Knows that she is a queen. And I know that there's other queens in other countries as well, but when you think about the queen, I mean, Queen Elizabeth held that title and she really sat in that throne on a collective consciousness level, okay? She's holding that symbol in place. She is the symbol of the false matriarchy, and she's literally the embodiment of the false matrix. So now let's think about the false matrix. If the original templated matriarchy, it is infinitely giving. It is here to give life, give joy, give pleasure, give abundance, give everyone the rightful access to creation itself, so long as you are, ready to reciprocate and quiet your heart and listen, is going to openly give you all of the knowledge that creation has in hold. And this is the power of the Leylines, right? Remember, so long as an open, humble heart sits down upon the earth to listen, the earth shall teach each person and give each person the guidance that they need on their path, because she is our higher self. She is our true mother. She is the true source of life. Every single thing that you eat, every breath that you're taking, comes out of the alchemical cauldron of our source creation, Gaia, Terra, Gaia, Earth Mother. So now we think about the false matrix. Now, the false matrix is an AI replica of true original source creation, because the false matrix definitely tricks people into believing that it's the source of life. I mean, people go to their jobs that they hate because they're truly afraid that if they don't go, then they're going to die, because their job is the source of their life force. And enough people believe in this false architecture and subscribe to this false architecture that it's kind of true. Okay? The majority of people are hooked into or trapped inside of this artificial matrix, not really because we chose to, but really it's like energetic slavery. It's really a forced thing that has occurred through land wars, right? Through property wars, through war and conquer in general. So many of the tribes, and going back to even the European tribal peoples, the Celtic lines, the Druids, okay, we all lived in deep alignment and resonance with the true mother, the true matriarch. And so in order for these people to be usurped and to basically be siphoned, and this is why the false matriarchy is an inversion, okay? Because the true mother gives life, the false mother traps and takes life. It basically sucks you dry of your life force, right? You go to a job that you hate, it kind of tricks you into believing that it's giving you your sustenance, even though it really didn't create the food that you're eating. It didn't create the materials that made the house that you're living in, but it's still charging you for it. Okay? Because it's tricking you into believing that it is the true source of life. This is the false matrix. All right. And so this inversion is really, I like to call it a torture device on the soul. Why do you think there is so much depression and anxiety and disease and cancer and famine? None of this is normal. None of it. If we think about and also if you go into the earth grids and you go and listen to her original song lines, you go into the memory fields of the earth, you see how the civilizations that have existed in right harmony and in right alignment, as guided by the living oneness of the destiny of one creation of the earth, we existed in abundance, in joy, in prosperity, in enlightenment. I guess you would call it a golden age. We had, technology, and we know we had technology because of the way that certain ancient structures are built, like some of these structures in Peru, right? We had highly advanced technologies that we don't even have access to in this day. But those civilizations, they lived in alignment with Source, and creation and Gaia taught us the physics, the living physics of matter, because she is matter, she is mother, she is matter. Okay, so she understands how matter works on all levels, in all dimensions. Okay? And so we have this cellular memory. For example, yesterday I was watching this video. I don't know how I get here. I like watching really relaxing videos on YouTube. It's the only thing I watch. If I did just want a 5-minute break, I'll just watch some Korean mom making a meal because it's wholesome. At this point, I can't really watch any entertainment besides just I watch those things because my life is so busy. If I didn't have to, commit my whole life to being of service to the earth because she's called upon me and is my highest honor. But if I didn't have to work really hard all the time, then I would be, cooking delicious meals for my family and harvesting grapes in the vineyard while I whisper secrets with the trees. And so because I can't do that, I watch videos of people that do that and live vicariously through them. But those are my basically only entertainment, the only things I can bear to watch these days. Just a little bit of relaxed time. So anyway, I stumbled upon this video. It's basically an ASMR video of somebody crunching things inside of slime. I didn't even know that this is such a huge thing. It was 7 million views on this thing or something. But it's literally just this person with slime and just this thin layer of white stuff that's hard, and he's pressing on it and it crinkles, okay? And as it's crinkling, I literally feel something in my body, and I'm wondering what is that? Why are people so obsessed with watching? 7 million views in just a couple months. Why are people so drawn to these kinds of stuff? And when I asked my body, she said, this is very enjoyable because I miss the sound of leaves crackling beneath my feet when I'm walking barefoot, like we always used to outside on the earth. And so I realized that our body actually have this somatic memory, right? Again, because our bodies are made of mother. Our bodies will never turn against mother or betray mother because there's just a deep union. We are one with her. She gave life to us. She made this beautiful, pleasurable, sensual experience for our body. Our bodies are very grateful, and it remembers the beauty and the joy and the sensuality and the pleasure of just the simple existence of leaves crinkling underneath our feet. Okay, and this is why we're obsessed with so many textures, and we almost have this somatic memory of some sort that heals us, because our disease comes from our separation from nature, from our originally intended way of life here on this planet. And so this is why the inversion reality is a trap that is also a torture device, because it's really actually very difficult for us to exist. The more magical DNA that is alive in your field, the harder of an experience it is. That's why for some of us, high school was absolutely, literally torture. You know what I'm talking about, right? We tune out because our brains are literally just tuning out the programming. We just know that that's not the right way that we were supposed to be educated, right? Our bodies were longing to feel that connection with the true mother, to be nourished by her, to be guided by her, to be taught, to be educated, to be held, to be led by this original matrix. And so this is why it's a torture device on our soul. Even though people have no language for this, I feel that most people still feel it. This is why we have higher suicide rates than ever on the planet. We have high depression and anxiety. We have so many pharmaceuticals. I mean, the pharmaceutical industry is like a whole other beast. It basically has created the disease and now it's coming with its solutions. Where have we heard that before? I feel like we just experienced a microfractal reality of that over the last couple of years, where we made the disease and then we came up with a solution to sell it. But essentially it's the truth for all disease. This is the false matrix. The only thing that is of sickness, it's the false matrix itself. And because it's trapped you inside of it, and of course you're going to be sick if you're living in disconnection from your true self. It's handing you coping mechanisms, right? Pharmaceuticals that make you numb, sugar and fake foods and toxins that make you numb, television, video games that make you numb, all the things. This is a false matrix. And the queen held that matrix in place as a symbol of it for 70 years. This is why this coordinate of her dying is so major. Okay, I know that some people say she died beforehand, and that's cool. I have no idea. Maybe that's true. It doesn't really matter to me because it's about collective consciousness. So this is the weekend that she died inside of the collective consciousness. And you see, the false matrix can only exist if the collective consciousness is tricked by it. If we're holding it up. If we're all buying food from the Walmarts, from the big, control systems, if we're all accessing our creation energy from those systems, we are exchanging and we're submitting and we're trapped inside of it. And the only reason that the false matrix can exist is because the collective is tricked into subscribing to it. Okay? And so it's important that this is the date that she has died in the awareness of the collective consciousness. And of course, it happened the day before this Gridwork ceremony. And for a month, I've been telling you guys that we are turning on a new Leyline system. We are amplifying the original Divine Mother Dragon Gaia consciousness. I was not kidding. I did not know. I knew deep inside myself. This is why I can say these things. Who says those things? Like, oh yeah, we're birthing a new Leyline system. It's the original consciousness of the living mother of creation. I say those things because I see it. This is what is shared with me. This is what I know I'm here to do with my starseed indigo angelic family here on earth. I speak these things in confidence to be a mirror and a reflection of this truth inside of you. Because I know sometimes waking up, it can be hard, and saying these things out loud is very affirming. And so I knew this whole time, that's why I was telling you guys that this is what we were going to do. And for the queen to have literally been expressed on a collective consciousness level that she had died the day before our event started was very powerful, because it told me that the earth was ready to close out an era and begin another. That the old matrix was ready to finally crumble to make room. And it doesn't matter that now a king is stepping forward, because the whole point of this was that she was a placeholder of an artificial overlay over our creation mother, the earth. Every single thing in the false matrix, is making sure that we have no memory of the true mother. Okay, from the religions to the burning of the witches to the damification of women in the Bible, all of these things are to sever us from the divine feminine creator mother energy of Gaia, our true mother, because she is what gives us power. She is what gives us life force and wisdom and unity and the guiding light of creation. She is the true matriarch that really plays that role in our highest of hearts. And so long as the false matrix can sever us from our mother, sever us from that consciousness, we're powerless. We're lost. We feel confused. And because we'll always need to fill that space inside of us, that love that we have for the mother, is easy for them to overlay it with this false mother. Okay? And so this is why her dying during this time is so massive. Because on the 9/11, and actually I will be sharing the Gridwork ceremony that we did during that weekend here on the YouTube channel. I feel called to share it with you guys because I feel like ongoing we are going to be doing more Gridwork together as a collective. The recordings to that event is available for purchase right now for a while, but I will be uploading the final Gridwork ceremony for free here on this YouTube channel. For those of you that want to check it out, it's at www.wombhealth.org. Okay, but essentially during the ceremony, we plugged the earth back into the cosmic mother, and that was something that was so profound. And I'm getting chills right now because Gridwork is something that is so important. We have no idea really, but Gridwork is probably the most powerful thing that we can do, and I'm going to tell you why. A really long time ago, when the Seraphim angelic families created the Leyline system, we were really gifting a creational system to this project that is the earth. And how the Leylines were designed was that all of life, okay, if you go and look up a map of the ley systems by this man named Rory Duff, I think I will be getting him on the YouTube channel to interview sometime because he is amazing. You can check out his work at roryduff.com. That's RORYDUFF. You can also search for him on YouTube. He has some amazing documentary style videos that he's made about Gridwork. He was once a geologist until he was 20. I think I'm not going to guess his age, that's rude. But in his 20s, this was 40, 50 years ago, he was a geologist. So he studied rocks and the formation of land masses and rocks. And so he was working for mines at that time. And he started to dowse. And they actually hired him to dowse for water underground. And they would actually go and drill water based on his guidance. And he basically could find underground water 100% of the time. He had a 100% accuracy rate. Okay, and soon after he realized that he can dowse for energy lines on the earth. And so he spent, this must have taken him a decade just mapping all of the major and minor ley lines in the UK. And this is a book that is available on his website. You can find his ley line maps. And you can find his studies and research on ley lines. And it's especially intriguing, his research about the ley lines and the Cathars and the Rosalind Chapel. So a couple weeks ago, I woke up and I was just like, Rosalind, Roseline, Rosicrucian. And I was yammering these words. And I actually then got in touch with him and I found his videos on the Rosalind Chapel soon after that. And it was this immense synchronicity. So I highly recommend checking out his work, because it's highly scientific, but he is a highly spiritual man. He understands that this is the consciousness of our mother, how these ancient Templars, temples, communities have always done ceremonies at these times when the ley lines are active. So he understands the spiritual implications of all of this and receives a lot of his data from psychic lay and grid workers, okay? Now, the craziest thing is I got his book like a couple weeks ago, and there's a map of what he calls the dragon lines. The dragon lines are the most powerful and biggest fields of Leyline systems around the earth that he has found. They came back online, I think, in 2012, and since then he's discovered more pairs of them coming back online. He believes that these ley lines come from the galactic consciousness and the galactic energies. Now, many of you know that back in 2020 and 2021, I did 2 dragon line tours across the United States. I started in the western border of Mount Shasta in San Francisco, all the way to the eastern coast of North and South Carolina. So, of course, I'm looking at this book, and I even back then was like, all right, guys, this is the coming online of the dragon grids. This is the dragon line, and we are bringing in cosmic codes to embed into the cosmic Leyline system. I'm reading up in this book, and he's got a map of these, and I kid you guys not, there's a line going right across the United States, exactly where I was driving across the continent, and he literally calls it a dragon line. So I was mind blown. I mean, I get all this information, obviously from inside of myself as I'm guided. I just do what I'm guided. I say what I'm guided. What I feel is what I'm shown by the earth herself. And so when I am doing grid work, this is all that's happening. And so to receive this confirmation, it absolutely blew my mind. So these are the kinds of things that help me to know that I'm not just, making things up in my head. And so the same thing with this coming online of this dragon network, this dragon consciousness. Okay. What happens is that this Leyline system is essentially like the meridian system, the energy systems of our human body, of our being. If we think about the templates of incarnation, this is the stuff that we go into great detail in my academy, the Earthstar Academy. This is how we help people remember their souls and help their souls come into body, because it's a very scientific process. Engaging in bioregenesis, which is basically the activation of our awareness of our energy and light bodies, and how our soul steps into and clicks into the biospiritual networks of our nervous and energetic systems in our biology. So literally the science of incarnation, the science of how souls come into the body. Okay, these are the knowledge and the information that we hold. And so essentially, the earth has those energies as well. And so cosmic consciousness flows in and throughout the earth, through these ley lines, through these dragon lines, through these nodes and nulls where the ley lines intersect. And they're feeding into all of these micro lines. If you look at a map of the UK that Rory Duff had put together, there are so many lines. And he has also categorized them. He's done amazing work, okay? So he's categorized these lines into different classifications based on how wide they are, how much current they hold. And, scientifically, they are actually sound waves, which is fascinating. These sound waves that emanate from deep inside of the earth. Now, the Aborigines of Australia have long called them song lines without any scientific tools and measuring technologies at all. And I believe this is because when you merge consciousness and journey deep into the earth, you will literally begin to hear songs. And this is what happens to me when I go into the field and I'm singing to you guys. I'm literally merging consciousness with the earth, with cosmic consciousness, and I will begin to hear these songs that carry geometries of life force, stories. Sometimes they're very cinematic, and I'll literally see visions and scenes of these dreams that these fields of sounds are carrying. And these fields of sounds give birth and give rise to in the creation. It's like cymatics, but multidimensional and sentient. It has emotion, it has feeling, it has consciousness. Okay, and so the ley system is very intricate and very divine and very complex, and it carries a great amount of mysteries. It's not just an energy line that, is running around. It's full of consciousness. It connects right into the data banks, the living libraries of the earth and the rest of the cosmos through the universal tree of life. The universal tree of life is the fabric, is the consciousness networks of living light. That is the communication network. It's like the neuron system of the consciousness of the cosmos. And so this is why working with the Leylines is very powerful, because the cabal, the elites, they've long stolen this knowledge and they have placed a lot of fallen architecture to keep the collective consciousness of this planet very low. They have done wars literally in Stargate zones, which high-level cosmic consciousness enter the earth. They have placed militaries and schools, universities, places of false matrix consciousness, places of soul disconnection on these lines, so that that consciousness literally disrupts the geometry. It almost buries or scuffles, what's the right word? Smothers. Okay. Dampens the original sound vibrations that's emanating from these power spaces. Okay, the supposed crucifixion in this power place of Jerusalem. All of those things are ways that they have inserted reversals and blocks and seals, negative energy manifestations into the Earth's grids, because so long as the Earth grids are distorted and held under a certain dense energy blueprint, the collective consciousness, right? The Earth's ley lines are feeding and informing the collective consciousness. So the whole planet is in a lower consciousness state. As soon as the planetary ley lines begin to come online, and we know that the dragon lines are coming online, these are ancient and new lines that are coming online in correspondence with galactic and cosmic energies, probably through precessions, through cosmic stellar alignments to different star systems, different stargates, different dimensionalities of universal source galactic consciousness. So when these ley lines begin to come online, it's inevitable that the collective consciousness actually starts to awaken. This is why so much of our work is focused on the grids right now, focused on dismantling and neutralizing the effects of the artificial grid. This is why healing our bodies are so important, because we each are a huge grid holder within ourselves. The starseeds, the indigos, we are massive stargates on the planet. We are holding a portal that allows cosmic consciousness to come through. That's why healing and activating our DNA, allowing 12D and beyond consciousness to flow through our vessels is the highest importance, because the higher level consciousness energy and the more of it we can flow through our bodies, the more impact we will have on the collective consciousness, the more impact we'll have on the ley lines and the grid systems of the earth. And this is how we can literally, the way that I've always seen it is pulling the carpet from under their feet, right? They think that they're plugged into this ley line system and they're siphoning all their energy and they're controlling the human collective consciousness with it. But we're basically turning that old ley line system off and turning on this new dragon line system. And the dragon consciousness is the divine mother creation, earth mother, true holy Sophia matriarch energy of the earth. True Pachamama energy. This is why so many of the ancient tribal religions talked about the big snake, the dragons, the nagas, okay, the serpents. This is why so many ancient priestesshoods had the symbol of the dragon or the symbol of the serpent. Many people think that the serpent represents the kundalini or the sexual energy, And the truth is it does, but that's only the microfractal version. The truth is that these dragon lines, they literally look like these giant anacondas swirling around the earth, and they are carrying this dragon serpent consciousness of Earth Mother. Okay? It's like this giant anaconda serpent consciousness. Now, I won't go into the damification of that energy. Okay? Because now people are saying, well, I thought that the serpents are demons and God us kicked out of the Garden of Eden. And I thought that, how long have we heard that Mary Magdalene is a prostitute and the mother is a whore, and excuse my language, but we've been hearing that the mother spirit and the serpent is a demon for so long. This is the damification, the demonization of the divine mother, holy, true monarch, Gaia energy. And why do we want to demonize that? To sever humanity from it. Of course, if we're scared of this big anaconda serpent consciousness, then we won't ever connect to it. And if we don't ever connect to it, then we'll never remember our source. We'll never remember our true place as children of this living planet. And being severed from the earth is the crux of all of our sickness, all of our troubles, all of our issues, all of our negative situations in our false matrix civilization. The reason why all civilizations have crumbled is because things that are not in resonance with the earth will only survive for so long. It's impossible for any foreign energy to stay on the earth for too long. I mean, think about the earth like the body. When there is disease, when there is cancer, when our immune system is healthy, we begin to eradicate those diseases naturally and we come back into a state of health. It's because the body has this intelligence and has the resonance of its original state of being. This is our divine genetic template. And so for so long, people have held down the natural immunity of the earth through various evil, magic, ritual practices. These are the ritual sacrifices, the wars, the genocides, okay, human trafficking, all of the evil magic ceremonies that have taken place, they directly dim the earth's natural immune system and keep the earth from kind of resetting and coming back into her highest original template. Now, again, that's why this Leyline work is so powerful, because we're basically amplifying her original creation consciousness. And what this does is almost turns on this homing beacon to humans, because humans are bodies. Bodies will always remember who their true mothers are. And, they're trying everything to sever us from the true mother. They're even trying to create artificial wombs. They're creating artificial inseminations, artificial conception, artificial birthing in every sense of the word to sever us from our true creation. And this is only getting worse with transhumanism. They're trying to tear humanity away from Earth Mother, and by us amplifying the ley systems, we're sending out this homing beacon signal to human biology, to human somatic bodies, to remember our true source. Now, why this weekend has been just powerful beyond conversation is because the false matrix basically, I want to say, bent its knee. It's forfeited. It's made space for the original queen, right? Think about how this happened. 9/11, we were about to resurrect or amplify the original matrix, because 9/11 historically has been a day when they have amplified the artificial matrix. This is always very interesting because we have an alignment with Andromeda. September 13th, there's a window where we come into alignment with Andromeda, which some say is kind of the mother of the Milky Way galaxy. So a lot of mother consciousness, source consciousness streams in from this Stargate alignment. Okay? And so again, it makes sense that could be one of the reasons why 9/11 is a date that they have chosen for so many different agendas, namely this one, right? When we talk about collective consciousness, like this year, I didn't really hear anything about 9/11 at all, probably because I was busy on that day, but usually we see a lot, never forget. Of course, they never want you to forget that devastating false flag event, because 9/11 was a very powerful act of evil planetary consciousness gridwork magic. Think about any other event that was televised to that extreme, before the plague, let's say, of 2020, before the you-know-what came out. That was probably the greatest heist that was ever pulled upon humanity before the you-know-whats. 9/11 was basically projected as this massive act of terrorism and fear and death and catastrophe and anti-human energy on a planetary level, right? It was fed to so many people around the world simultaneously. And this is what collective planetary consciousness grid evil magic ceremonies work. It's just about incepting an energy in the collective consciousness on a massive scale. Okay? Because so long as they can kind of seed the fear of terrorism and the fear of whatever, and that, big daddy government is looking after you, as long as they can incept these ideas into collective consciousness, it's a win for them. And so before this point, people associate that with 9/11. So 9/11 is a massive day for collective gridwork energy, and the false matrix was largely looped into that date. Okay? And so for the queen to have died literally the day before our container opened, and then for us to literally spend the whole day amplifying the most powerful source creation energy through this new Leyline system, tells me that we're about to experience the overtaking of critical mass. This is when the mass or the amplification of the original grid energies on the earth are so strong that it's almost like a dominoes thing. Like nothing else can take momentum. And this is what we're experiencing right now. Like, even though they're trying to just say like, you still need booster shots, or you still need, all sorts of different things, that you still need to subscribe to the government and the schools and every part of the false matrix. Inevitably, people are waking up. Inevitably, the somatic intelligence inside of all human bodies is being signaled to awaken by this collective consciousness that's flowing through the grids. And so over the next couple of years, this is going to be essential for us to learn how to work with the grids, for us to work with the meridians and the consciousness systems that flow through our own bodies, so that we become literally a stargate or a sacred site for original consciousness energy to flow through us. And this has largely to do with becoming a beacon of Gaia, original Gaia consciousness. And so I'm going to be posting that ceremony on YouTube shortly, probably in the middle of this week. And we're going to continue to listen and to amplify that. And this is the work that we contain and hold space for in the Earthstar Academy. We basically first help everybody heal from the damage that has incurred from the false matrix and the biospiritual abuse that we have experienced inside of it on a human level. We heal through the dimensional bodies, the emotional, the spiritual, the energetic, the etheric, the elemental, all of the layers, implants, entities, distortions that can exist in our biology. We heal through all of them. And then we get into discovering our higher light etheric bodies, and we activate our DNA. And then we go into planetary grid and Leyline activations and works. And so this is kind of the level of consciousness that we are growing and cultivating and holding space for inside of the Earthstar Academy. I invite you all to join me there if you haven't checked it out already. It's at www.earthstar.academy, where we will continue to do this gridwork missions in a contain and held space, because I believe in the end of 2024, we are going to hit some sort of critical mass. This is when the dragon lines are going to be completely online, and they're going to be kind of maximized and harmonized. Okay, and this is something that I have heard, and also it's a match with what Rory is saying, even scientifically, because you can scientifically measure when the ley lines come in harmony. This is why the ancients always held ceremony around the equinox and the solstice, which, by the way, equinox is coming up. I think it is this coming Wednesday. Okay, you are all invited. So I will upload that video on Tuesday, September 20th, and you are all invited to listen to that recording to amplify the grids over the next couple days. I invite you to go out onto the grids. Go out to perform ceremony in the power places that you know of. Be guided, ask the earth, allow your body to feel. When you connect in with the earth, okay, just perceive the subtle inflections that happen. You don't have to worry about thinking if you're doing it right or something. You just allow your body and allow your consciousness to remember, because our biology are so in tune with the earth that it remembers how to do all this stuff. Like, you literally just stand there and you say, okay, like, let me connect to the earth, and your body will start to move and you will end up in places. If you want, you can get dowsing rods. You can learn on the internet how to dowse. I think Rory has stuff on his website that he holds space for as well. And so I definitely encourage everybody to go out there during this time. Essentially, the Harmony Day, which is when the ley lines are in a harmony on a planetary level and everything is flowing coherently and is very powerful to do grid work during these times. That's why the ancients have always done it. This Harmony Day lasts about 20 days from the time of the equinox and the solstices. Okay. I think that it's very powerful to gather in groups of 6 and multiples of 6. If you can't get 6 people, 1 person, 2 people, however many is great. But essentially at the end of 2024, I'm sensing that the grids will be completely online. From all of the efforts that we are putting in, from the earth coming online and awakening herself. And by that point, it's basically just going to be, I want to say downhill, but I don't mean in a bad way. I just mean like it's going to be going down on a roller coaster. It's like really fast and easy. Just like, woo, the rest of the awakening, the rest of the planet, it's going to wake up. This is a timeline that I'm seeing. Of course, it's going to still require for every single one of us to work our best, because that means we are invited to come into our highest embodiments and activation on that timeline towards the end of 2024. 2024 as well. Okay, so we're saying 2025, we're in charge, kinda. By in charge, I just mean, we are present in the collective consciousness, the awakened ones, the star seeds, the creators. We are so present in the collective consciousness that it's no longer weird for people to, and I think that this is already trending. Spirituality is already trending, but a lot of false matrix, false light stuff is trending as well. But by the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025, I'm sensing that we will have come into a level of empowerment, our starseed community. Aurora says, I'll just make all my kids go with me. Boom, 6 people. That made me laugh for some reason. But anyway, we will be powerful enough that we will be able to create on a very proficient level. If you guys all do your work, you guys, and again, this is what we hold space for in the Earth Star Academy. We don't want people just to wake up and be, spiritually enlightened or spiritually egoic. We want people to be empowered to be able to create substantial, monumental legacies on Earth. Okay? Monumental legacies. What does that mean? We're going to build cities of light. We're going to build architecture in alignment with the original geometry that is in honor of cosmic creation. We are going to awaken and create the new education systems for all human beings that will be born onto this planet. Massive planetary legacies, right? And so we hold space for people that have a planetary leadership contract. We hold space for people that want to come into their highest embodied creatorship. And we are going to collectively come into 2025 just being able to do everything that we have dreamt of, all the visions that we've seen, okay? All of the schools, the systems, the cities, all the things that we see in our visions, we're gonna begin to materialize those things in 2025 if we do the work, if we align to our higher self, if we commit ourselves to activating to our highest light each and every day. So that is my timeline grid report for you guys, inspired by the death of the Queen. It is truly a celebration. God bless her soul, bless her spirit. I have seen some amazing memes. That's one thing that I always be super impressed by our Lightworker community, is that every time something happens, the memes are top notch, okay? People are so good at making these memes. It's hysterical. And then to hear that the governor of Florida sent illegal immigrants to Martha's Vineyard, which is like, I think, a super rich political area, is hysterical to me. I mean, I can't believe he actually did that. It's just like heroic levels. It's just hysterical. So anyway, I'm excited. I think that so there is a guy in Canadian politics. His name is Pierre Poilievre. And he is very similar to Ron DeSantis of Florida, who is just amazing. Like, on the political scenes, I mean, this man is really next level. So if you guys don't know politics, I still recommend, watching his videos, because a hero is a hero no matter like what sector of the work you're in, right? Like, I'm in the Leylines consciousness sector. He's in the political sector. We all work for the same team, that is to bring heaven on earth. So of course we needed to be in the political system, be in the medical system, be in the law system, all these things to carry out the plan. And so the governor of Florida is amazing, so intelligent, so competent, so powerful, an embodiment of this masculine, divine masculine, benevolent energy. I'm gonna put in the Rory site in the comments there. Somebody's looking for it. So it's roryduff.com. I'll also put it in the description. So anyway, there is a similar guy that is here in Canada. His name is Pierre Poilievre. I was very excited to see him because for a long time I've been knowing about DeSantis, and I was like, I need there to be somebody like him in Canada, because we're really suffering up here, over the you-know-whats, and the restrictions and all the things, like, especially how Trudeau handled the whole trucker situation. I mean, it's a mess. And so this guy is amazing. I think his campaign slogan is to make Canada the freest country on earth. And so he recently won his party leadership title, because you have to be, okay, it's not active. Hang on one second. Okay, so it's working for me. I mean, I would recommend just Googling or YouTubing Rory Duff, Leyline, or something like that, and you should be able to find his stuff. If you just search Rory Duff on Google, you'll also find his books. Leylines, Earth Energy, Knows Large Vortexes, and he has a collection of them. He's a highly intelligent man. Okay? And so in order to run for prime minister, you have to first be the leader of your house, I guess, whatever word for that is. And so he is the party, that's it. So he is in the Conservative Party. And so basically, I think he probably is the most largely voted leader in any party in the history of Canada. Because, I mean, his campaign videos are amazing. I'm a huge fan. Because, guys, campaigning is lit. Like, when you think about it, we need to be campaigning. Like, what does campaigning mean? It means like you're out there and you're standing up for something and you're getting people to vote with their energies. You're asking people to vote with their aliveness, people to vote with their consciousness and their alignment. And so we're all campaigning in a way. We're campaigning for Mother Earth. We're campaigning for divine source. Okay? And Noble Thought says, I'm completely confused at hearing about DeSantis being called benevolent. I say turn off the news, stop listening to legacy media, and look at what he really does. Go and listen and read his policies. Go and read up the bills that he puts out and really study them and really understand what he's doing. If you don't think that DeSantis, or Trump for that matter, is benevolent, go and listen to their speeches, right? Because it's just ridiculous. When you really understand what these people are up to and the mass media and how they're painting these people. And honestly, guys, like, I never followed Trump, even though all of the spiritual people are like, oh, Trump is our savior. Like, I was like, what the heck are you guys talking about? Because I've never listened to any of his speeches. Okay. So one day I'm like, you know what? Because I had a dream. I had this dream where I was on this canoe with Trump and his wife. And I was sitting there with my like armed cosmic security guard. And I was just standing there like stiff as a board, just protecting them. And I was like, why the hell am I protecting that guy? Like, I thought he was, a misogynist asshole. And so I went and listened to his speeches. Go listen to these people's speeches and read their policies. Okay? Go and research whatever legacy media hates, says Audra, and that's the thing. Whatever they're telling you, go and research and come up with your own awareness, because when you do research on Trump, when you do research really on DeSantis, you will come to find that legacy media hates them because they are benevolent. They're aligned with Christic virtues. They're here to bring back the Christed civilization. Okay? So I'm also really confused by the Trump and the vaccine thing. So, hey, I don't know. But anyway, all I'm saying is, so far, it seems like Pierre Poilievre is really amazing. And I'm really happy because after the plunder and the absolute tragedy that has occurred to Canadian politics and Canadian society over the last years, we really needed someone to lead this country out of that. And what I love the most about Pierre is that he is very much in tune with people and our needs, and in tune with economy. I feel like politicians need to understand economy and how collectives and civilizations operate, because they're really, they work for the people as an organizing principle. Okay. And so anyway, all that is to say, I think we all need to be campaigning for the highest light. Somebody says I fell off the Trump train with the pro-jabs. Who the heck cares? I agree. I mean, I'm confused about it as well, but ultimately, I believe it's what people do. Like, he has put more pedophiles in jail than, I think he might have been the person that's put the most pedophiles in jail. And so that's all I have to say about that. And White Swan says jabs, at least he believes in personal choice. And so that's very important, I think. I agree with that. Because I think that a lot of human beings are of the consciousness that we need it. And so if he doesn't provide one, then those people are going to believe that he's negligent. Okay, so as a political person, you just can't win. Everybody is going to come at you for no matter what you say. And so as long as he's not imposing mandates, I think that it's chill. Okay? The whole jab thing is a whole other thing. I don't even know if I want to voice my opinion on that, so I'm not going to do it. Okay? But anyway, hey, putting away pedophiles, stopping drugs from coming across borders. Okay, we got to look at the big things that these people are doing and who they really work for. And so when I see that these are the real things that he's done, I'm like, I respect that. Okay, I haven't done that. I myself have not been able to accomplish, putting away high-level pedophiles on a high level. He did, so I respect that. I have respect for that in that person. I don't believe that there is any more virtuous act than putting away pedophiles. I really have a thing against pedophiles. I will not voice my opinions on that as well. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut right now because it is intense, guys. I mean, I have strong opinions because I have strong beliefs. Who is she talking about? Just reverse the video, rewind the video a little bit. Welcome, Matthew. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this Gridwork collective consciousness energy report and update. We're really excited for the next couple years. I think that we're in for a treat. The capacity for us to awaken and activate our DNA to the highest level of consciousness has never been more available on this planet, which makes it really exciting for all starseeds and people of high consciousness. Okay? And so at the end of the day, no matter what your political, environmental stances or whatever else are, it's really just about your personal impact and what you are here to do and what you are in alignment with. And if you really have a spine and you speak out and campaign for what you really believe in, and you really believe in yourself, and you believe in your mission as a speaker, as a beacon of divine light. And so share this video, like this video, share it with your friends if you found it interesting or supportive. Join Your Star Academy if you would like for me to support you in your awakening journey. My curriculum is absolutely next level. I kid you not, it's amazing. I'm not just talking about it. It seriously shocks me, okay? Because it's not really coming from me. I just sink down into the earth and I merge with the collective consciousness and I bring through this information. And so if you would like to do that as well, yeah, this is what is meant for us. We are meant to pilgrimage out into this Leylines and retrieve our original birthrights, which is our knowledge, our gnosis, our connection to information and life force that is free. And so I am sending all of you so much love, so much light. I hope to see you soon. I will be releasing that ceremony video on Tuesdays so that we can use it on our Gridwork journeys for the equinox. And I will see you on the next episode of Starseed Mission Support. Bye for now.